Hey guys, Christina here, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I want to share with you another drawing that I completed for my 7 Deadly Sins series, and this time I am working on vanity. Now in the beginning of this video you saw me use my previous drawing for this series, the slot drawing, as a reference, and I use my light box just to trace over the shape of the coffin because I really want all of my characters to be placed in the exactly same sized coffin, and that's why I usually just trace the coffin for each new drawing from the one that I've completed previously. And I also in this video decided to share with you a bit of my sketching process because I don't always show you how I sketch my drawings. I usually just show you how I color them, and I thought you might enjoy this and it might be interesting to see how I work on my artwork and see a more kind of raw version of it. The reason that I don't usually do this is because I find it incredibly uncomfortable filming while I'm sketching. I'm so used to having my face very close to the page when I sketch, so usually my head is in the camera's way, and even if I film you're not going to be able to see anything. But this time I put in the extra effort and I tried to keep my face away from the page, and I feel like I successfully managed to film myself sketch. So that was a proud moment. I don't know how often I'm going to show you the sketching process as well, because it does make the video longer, and I don't know how interesting it is to you, but I decided to go for it this time. So I always sketch on a piece of cardstock. I don't enjoy sketching on thin paper because I do a lot of messy lines and I do a lot of erasing, and I like to press hard with my pencil when I sketch, which goes against everything that any artist will tell you when they talk about sketching, but that's just the way that I do it. And after I finish sketching with my pencil, I'll always go over my sketch with a multiliner or a pen that it just has, it's in a different color than my pencil basically. So in this case I used red, and I go with the multiliner over the drawing, over the messy lines, just to have some sort of indication for myself that this is the right line, this is the one that you should follow. And that gives me a better understanding of what the piece is gonna look like at the end. And then I use my light box to transfer that sketch onto the final paper that I'm going to be using. Now a lot of people I've seen, when they use light box to transfer a sketch onto a piece of paper that they're going to use for coloring, they do it straight with their multiliner or pen or whatever they're using for their artwork. And I just don't feel comfortable doing this. I've made too many mistakes in the past trying to do this, so I prefer to trace over my original drawing with a pencil using my light box, and then going over the pencil lines with multiliner or whatever I'm using for this particular art. Now for this drawing here I'm using just my Copic multiliner in black, which is what I've been using for all drawings that are part of this series so far. And yeah, it's a bit of an extra work to do it that way, meaning to do it with the pencil first and then go over it with the multiliner, but it's what works for me. So if you're confident enough to do this straight with your pen or fine liner, go for it. It saves a bit of time, but personally I don't really mind. Plus for this drawing I worked on it over the period of 2 or 3 days, just because I have a lot of other things going on and I wanted to take my time with it and enjoy working on it, because this was my break from everything else stressful that is going on. So on to the coloring. I had a very different idea about the color scheme of this piece initially, and it was going to be much more traditional, I feel like, and I was thinking that she's gonna be blonde and the lining of the coffin's gonna be dark gray or something like that. That's what I initially thought. But then I had this idea of and like I don't want anyone to be offended by this, but I had this idea that I want Vanity to be someone who is putting in the extra time and the extra effort to modify her appearance in some way, meaning the dyed hair and the heavy makeup and the tattoo. And don't get me wrong, I've dyed my hair, and I've dyed my hair purple in the past, and I have absolutely no problem with heavy makeup. If I have an excuse to wear it, I'll do it. And I really want to get a tattoo, so I'm not saying this to be rude or offensive. I find all these three things really beautiful, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to incorporate them in the vanity drawing. But I wanted her to be someone who, you know, just by looking at them, you know that they're taking care of their appearance, and they're trying to, you know, make some statement with it, or they're trying to express themselves through it. So that's why I decided to go with this purple hair, which by the way turned out gorgeous. I'm not a massive fan of purple in artwork, especially my artwork. I don't mind it so much in other people's art. The purple is definitely not my favorite color, and I only have a very limited collection of purple shades. So when I started coloring this, I was thinking that it's not going to turn out too good because I don't have enough shades of Copic markers, or any markers for that matter, to achieve what I wanted to achieve with her hair. But I'm actually very happy with the end result. I only used 2 markers. I used a very light one and a very dark one. Oh no, I lied. I used 3 markers. I used another really dark purple here and there. But it's a different tone of purple. I don't know. It was a big experiment, but I'm overall very happy with it. I think the contrast is very nice. And the other colors that I chose to use for this piece were black for this fabric that you see wrapping around her, and then this dark green that on camera it looks like turquoise, but it's not really. It's just a very dark shade of green. I think because I didn't put a matte under my drawing, and you can see the white disc underneath it. The white of the disc is kind of making the camera show the colors of the drawing itself a bit different. So trust me on this, it's actual green, it's not turquoise. Anyway, I thought it's a color that works very well with her hair, and I thought it was a color that's gonna work very well with the browns that I was going to use for the coffin itself. So yeah, overall I'm very happy with the color scheme. The one thing that I'm kind of unhappy with is the piece of shattered mirror in her hand. Now, I've never drawn mirror before, which is kind of weird. I feel like it should be something that I've tried to draw at some point in my life, but I honestly can't remember. So that was a big challenge to me. I've never done it. I thought it was going to be very simple. Turns out it's not. And I'm not super proud of how it turned out. I feel like, you know, if I don't point out the fact that it's mirror, you might assume she's looking at a picture of herself that's been torn or something like that. But no, it's supposed to be a mirror, okay? Okay. And yeah, I definitely need more practice. I have another idea that I think is pretty cool for a broken mirror, and I'm going to be working on it soon, so hopefully that turns out better. But overall, as I said, for a first time, I'm pretty proud with the way it turned out. I'm really happy with the way this piece looked at the end, and I'm happy that I chose this color scheme over the more traditional one that I initially thought of. That's pretty much everything that I have to say about this drawing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye bye.